2-2, just under 5 minutes to go here at Joe Louis Arena, and Chris Osgood, the Detroit netminder, has a bloody nose, and he's being attended to. The reason he has a bloody nose and Hodgson is a partner in crime as far as goaltenders here has come on and put his mask on, is that Brent Gilchrist's stick got caught up in the face mask of Osgood, and I've heard about headless horsemen but never headless goalies, and he had his mask spun right around on his head, and that stick must have got into the eye holes of the mask and cut him on the nose, or at least broke it. Boy, a sharp stick in the eye is a bad thing. And he wears that cage and helmet, not the mask. Not that he would have been saved by a mask, but it'll be interesting to see if he can go on. I think he probably will, unless he broke something, or unless that thing really cut him bad on the upper lip. Hodgson thinks he's going in. He's stretching out. Osgood's trying to shake it off. This is a tough place for a goalie to go into. A 2-2 game with only 5 minutes to go in the third period. They can't stop him from bleeding, though, I don't think, right now.
Let's talk about that goal one more time, Razor, that tied it at 2-2, and what was Osgood doing on the play?
Well, Osgood came across to hold his post. He moved from the right to the left, and it looked like he had everything all shut down. And then he kind of shifted his body back, his right side of his body, back towards the goal. And somehow the puck that Zubov shot just vaporized as it hit him, and then squeaked through his armpit and into the goal. Osgood can't continue on, so he must have cut his schnoz, not just had it bleed on him. And he's going off with Wharton, their medical trainer, to attend to things. So Hodgson comes in here right now. Tough spot. Hodgson hasn't played in a while.
He has not played in the last 6 games. 5-1 loss December 16th at San Jose. The last time he was in, gave up 4 goals on 18 shots. For the season, Razor, this is his 10th appearance.
He's appeared mostly on the road, too. He hasn't played all that much at Joe Louis Arena. Well, he's going to have to play fine goal for the next 5 minutes and maybe then some in order for his club to get a point or a couple. That was a weird play. I haven't seen that, and I've had a lot of weird things happen to me while I've been standing back there with the silly gear on, and Gilchrist just came in and was trying to defend a guy, and he must shave that stick down a little bit for it to get inside a mask. The eye holes themselves are big enough that you can put a butt end of a stick in it, but I've rarely seen the blade end go in there. And Osgood continues on with the snot rockets and trying to plug things up. Yeah, right in my nose, he's saying on the bench. He got me right in my nose.
Also, the kind of cage that he wears, could that be also more susceptible to that kind of thing? We'll talk about that in a minute. Stars go after the puck. They're going to go after Hodgson here. It's a 2-2 game with 4:48 to play. The Wings will clear it out. Now it's center ice, Carbonneau turning with it, bouncing it to the Detroit line. Murphy spinning it ahead. Hatcher defending, kept it away from Kocur, and Verbeek will lob it in from center ice. Behind the Red Wing goal, Murphy. Bumped by Carbonneau, plays it around behind. Maltby comes back to get it. He'll skate it up. Left wing to center. Ran into Verbeek, now recovers. The Wings will throw it in. It bounces off the end boards right to Belfour, and he'll hang on. And now Carbonneau with a word or two to say behind the play, behind the Dallas goal.
Well, Joey Kocur in the middle of it, as is Kurt Maltby, as they try to stir things up around Eddie Belfour's net. There's some people that say that, and there was an article in the paper the other day by Galloway that said that perhaps the Stars need a guy like Joey Kocur, an enforcer that can play. He's played well for them, and we might have more. He's got 2 guys, Pat Verbeek and Guy Carbonneau, to tangle with. And Verbeek, who has been a nasty boy against the Red Wings over his career, he had something like 120 penalty minutes in only 40 games heading into this one tonight, and has added to that total. I'm sure nothing will come of this one. Verbeek always seems to end up with that visor and helmet back on his head, so that I don't know if it's so he can verbally challenge the other guy or if it's just the way that it goes. They will separate. Nothing will come of this. It's been a heatedly contested battle here tonight in Motown.
Well, Mark Fawcett is taking at least one player to the penalty box, and it might only be a Dallas Star. I'm not sure. Verbeek is on his way in, and he's taking one from each side. In a 2-2 game with first overall on the line, each team has had 4 power plays in the hockey game. I doubt that something like that would result in a power play at this juncture of the game.
Oh, it would be a mistake, I would think. Osgood looks like he's coming back in. He had played 55 minutes, made 26 saves, and had given up 2 goals, and they just needed to stop the bleeding. That's what the Stars needed in the first period here last time they were in the building. They needed to stop the bleeding. So good job by Johnny Wharton. Osgood comes back on. Hodgson goes out. I don't think Hodgson made a save.
He did not. Again now, Razor, is the way that he wears that helmet and cage, is that easier to get in?
There's a difference between the two of them, between the two masks, but it's the same wiring. But they're different masks. It's the helmet part that's different. The other one's fiberglass and it's formed to your head. The one that Osgood wears is just a cage with a little bell underneath of it, and then a normal helmet like all the other players wear. And I've never seen it where a sharp end, like the blade end of a stick, ends up going right into the mask and almost takes your, well, it almost ripped his nose off. He had a tough time smelling anything after this one. Stars were starting to smell a little bit more offense, I think, when they had fresh meat in goal. And that's the one thing from the Union standpoint that I don't like. A guy sits on the bench for 55 minutes and then doesn't get a warm-up. What other sport has that? You know, in football, the quarterback throws on the sideline, and in baseball, the guy throws in the bullpen. But goaltenders, they just get up off their chair where they've been eating popcorn and looking at pretty girls, and then put their mask on and stop pucks.
Coming from someone who did that for quite a while.
What, sit on the bench?
You said yourself you were Grant Fuhr's caddy. How many games was that?
You've done too much background on me.
All right. Face off in the Dallas zone. A little over 4 minutes remaining. Minor penalties to each club. It does not affect the manpower advantage on the ice. Lettman will spin it down. No icing here. Lidstrom will be able to tag after it for the Wings. He'll haul it behind his goal. 2-2 the score. Lidstrom at his own line. Out of Kozlov at the Dallas line, picking his way to the right circle. Watched by Sador, taking it deeper, trying to center. Metvichuk rubs him out. Loose behind the Dallas goal. Wing centering, a shot. Lariana blocked away by Belfour. Rebound also handled by Eddie as Brown threw it toward the goal. Now the Stars clear it. Here's Sador picking it up, working against Rouse, one-on-one. Langenbrunner coming behind the play. Sador taking it back to the goal as Rouse forced him wide. Langenbrunner along the far side, watched by Lariano. Back out to the left flank to Hatcher. He held it in. Goes deep behind the goal, and Kozlov will go back and pick it up for the Wings. Dodges a hit from Marshall. He'll start skating it up the ice. To his own line. Can't get around Bassett, who falls, but nudges it in. McCarty's back to pick it up for Detroit. He'll lift it out to center ice. 3:05 to play in a 2-2 game. Here come the Stars. Bassin's in, right wing side to Marshall along the boards. Tried to thread it in front to Airy. Murphy broke it up, and they clear it to center ice. Chambers bobbled it. Then took a hit from Yzerman. The Stars get it in. Erickson gets it out to Shanahan. Now to Murphy. Left wing pass at the Dallas line to Yzerman. It bounced past Harvey. Chambers clears it up the near side. Stars will bring it out again. Bassin at center. Now to the Red Wing line. Playing it in left wing side to Hatcher. In front to Harvey. And he tipped it toward the goal, but it went out the side of the net. From his seat of his pants, McCarty spins it up the near boards in his own zone. Lynn has a grip on one of the wings, and we get a whistle and a face-off with 2:23 to play in the Detroit zone.
Well, the Wings came back after Osgood went in goal and had 2 tremendous chances to go ahead in this hockey game. Larry Onoff, who didn't play the other night, was out with a thigh injury, had a good crack from the slot area. Brown had it behind the net. They fed it out in front, and right from the crosshairs, a snapshot up high, blocker side on Belfour, who just stood there and regurgitated it, and then Zubov picked off the rebound and got it out of there. Now if you blink, you lose, you have to think. 2:23 to go third period. Belfour's been rock solid and excellent at times, and Osgood has persevered down at his end.
Face off to Osgood's left. Carbonneau to work the draw for the Stars against former star Brent Gilchrist. Harvey has it along the near board. Checked by Lidstrom. Dandino pushing it past Muni to center up. Juha Lind firing it right back in. Stars chop it into the zone, and Dandino back after it for the Wings. Now Gilchrist will carry it ahead to the Dallas line. Pushing it to the boards. Ludwig sends it out to Harvey in front of the Dallas bench. Cuts around Dandino. Tries to play it deep so the Stars can change. It's deep enough, and Dallas will make a change. Lidstrom brings it to center. Slams it in from long range. Belfour the save. Rebound. Went wide. And Sador will bring it out.
LaPointe's a strong boy. And not too many guys can outmuscle Craig Ludwig and get a second crack at things, and he did just that.
Now Lettinen working behind the Detroit goal, trying to get it out front. It comes to the near board. Zubov pinches down to keep it in for the Stars, and he'll get a face-off again in the Detroit zone. 1:30 to play in regulation.
Well, now you start looking down at your sheet and try to figure out who's good against who on face-offs, with offensive zone face-offs if you're on one team and defensive zone draws if you're on the other. There's been an exodus out of the penalty box. Kosar, Maltby, Reed, and Verbeek are all back in the game after their nasty little habit around the net of shoving one another. But face-offs for the Stars, Guy Carbonneau's been the dominant guy. He's won almost 80% of them through 2 periods tonight. Jamie Langenbrenner's been pretty good. This is an offensive zone draw. If you're in your defensive zone, you want the best guy you have to try to win it.
Igor Larionov for the Wings. Langenbrunner scraps for the draw. It's controlled by Detroit. Eriksson goes back of his goal with it. Murphy takes it from Osgood to Eriksson again. The Wings push it ahead. Zubov blocks it down. In he comes to the Detroit zone. Wrist shot. Oh, and he had Osgood stretching, but he blocked it away to the far boards. Lettinen in the corner. Langenbrunner mugged by Murphy, and Brown's able to get it out. Jamie's lost his helmet. Zubov plays it in off Eriksson and deep. 1 minute remaining in the third period. Stars 2, Wings 2. Each team tied for first overall in the NHL with 55 points. And they played a dandy tonight. Verbeek stealing at the Detroit line. Tried to give it to Carbonneau. It's broken up. Brown hit from behind by Verbeek. And Murphy bounces it to the Dallas line. Hatcher chipping it away. Again at center ice, here's Eriksson off Brown into the Dallas zone. Hatcher to Chambers. Half a minute to play in the period. Carbonneau, left wing to Reed. The Detroit line can't get past Rouse. Puts it deep. Verbeek went crashing in after it, but Yzerman has it for the Wings. Can't get around Carbonneau. Now a pass ahead to Shanahan. 15 seconds left. Here's Shanahan in, trying to get around Chambers, who stayed with him. Belfour poked it away. Now Hatcher for the Stars. Ahead to Marshall at center. Now to Bob Airey. He'll tap it in, and that will do it. Osgood will handle it, give it to Lidstrom, and 3 periods gone. Well, Osgood was great, but one crack, and it's a 2-2 game, Razor, and we're going to overtime.
Yeah, just the one little mistake. The puck seemingly went through him, and it looked like the Wings had the goal they wanted to go ahead and then protect it, but they didn't get it. Tie hockey game, I think, fitting. 2 teams tied for the best record. We play 60 minutes. They don't settle anything. The defenses on both sides have just been marvelous. It's been a great game to watch.
And we'll have 5 more minutes of sudden death overtime when we continue from the Joe on the Dallas Stars Hockey Network. Bob Airey scored in the first period for the Stars at the 10:20 mark from Verbeek and Herkus. It was 1-0 Dallas. Kozlov scored the only goal in the second period for Detroit from McCarty and Larionov. We were tied at 1. Razor, in the third period, the Wings took a lead late in the game.
Well, nobody filed flight patterns in the Stars zone, and 3 of them ran into one another. 3 Dallas Stars. A 2-on-0 ensued. Belfour made the initial save on Dandino, and then nobody picked up, or nobody could pick up, Holmstrom, who popped the rebound up and over a sprawled Eddie Belfour.
4th of the season from Dandino and Brown, and then Sergei Zubov with the laser beam.
Yeah, seemingly harmless shot. Fawcett, the referee, had to get out of the way, and Zubov was almost on the goal line, but no shot is a bad shot in this game, and he found that out as Osgood fell off his post and gave him some room.
And so we are in overtime. The Stars and the Detroit Red Wings tied at 2 apiece. This is the 8th overtime game for each team. Detroit, no decisions, 0-0-7. Dallas with 2 wins and 5 ties. They have not lost. Here comes Langenbrunner back for the Stars. Drops it to Sador, into the zone, right circle, stick handling, backhand shot. Osgood to his knees, scoops it up and hangs on.
Well, the bloody-nosed Osgood has made another save here. It's been 24 overtime periods that he's played in, or overtime games, and he's yet to surrender a goal. So he'll be put to the test, I would think, here again in the next 4.5 minutes. He's played well. The only mistake he's made has been a costly one, really, and he kept his club in it in that first period when they were grossly outplayed at some stretches.
Stars have outshot Detroit 30-22 for the hockey game, Razor, and they've, I presume, outchanced them as well.
And they played intelligent. They really have. They haven't given up that many 2-on-1s and outman chances, and they've kept the Wings pinned in a lot of the time.
Face off to Osgood's left. Carbonneau against Gilchrist. Stars win it. Zubov at the right point. Skating to the high slot. Watched by Maltby. Deals it into the slot. Verbeek can't reach it. Reed trying to hold it in. Now he has to go to center to chase it. Plays it to the near boards at center. Throws it in. Erickson will spin it right back out to Murphy. Bounces it into the Dallas zone. Zubov there first. Clearing it right back out. Zubov got hammered behind the play by Kocur. The Stars will carry it on. Verbeek into the Red Wing zone. Tried to get it to Reed, but it's cleared to center ice. Kocur and Carbonneau in front of the Detroit bench. And Mark Fawcett gives them a whistle. We played 55 seconds of the 5-minute overtime period. Should one team score, they will win. If no team scores, we will split the points.
Keith Carbonneau, he's into this game tonight. You know, he's still pumped up. He's logged an awful lot of ice time. He played the most of any Star in the second period, over 10 minutes. A lot of that coming, killing penalties and taking face-offs. You'll get a break now. I'm impressed by the guys who have sucked up the minutes for the Modanos and the Nieuwendijks and the Hogues and the Adams, the people back at home that aren't here right now. The other guys have filled in more than admirably.
Tell you what, Ken Hitchcock got exactly the game out of his team that he needed, that he wanted, and that he hoped for. Now they're in overtime. They got to finish the effort. Ludwig spins it all the way down the ice. This will be icing. Airy is tripped up on his way to the puck. And Stars went after that hard. Basson came shooting out of nowhere and almost beat Lidstrom to it, but it is icing against Dallas.
Well, he was close to it, that's for sure. Guys like Grant Marshall have had the games that you'd expect out of them here tonight. They've been really intelligent in their positioning on the forecheck and not getting lost, not getting chasing. Bob Airy scored the opening goal of the game to get the Stars up in it, and that was important. They hadn't scored in the first 2 periods against the Wings yet this season. They went up 1-0. So the role guys, Todd Harvey's played gritty and hard. Everybody has. And they said it over on the other side, and the Wings coaching staff said it between the second and third period. They didn't expect Dallas to be any different with the guys out. They expected them to be the same way, hard-working.
That's exactly what they've gotten tonight. Face off in the Dallas zone. Lettinen tried to punch it away. Now Matvichuk will bring it ahead to center. Throw it in, left wing side. Langenbrunner striding after it, back behind the net. Hit by Lidstrom. Langenbrunner picking it up. Stick handling behind the goal. The Sador, a shot that's blocked from the circle. Langenbrunner out front, can't find the puck. It just was out of his reach. Back come the Wings the other way. Kozlov off Sador's stick. Left wing into the Dallas zone. Larionov watching Zubov. Stars pick up the puck, and Langenbrunner ahead to Sador at center ice. Here comes Darrell. He's on his own, watched by 4 Red Wing players. He'll get it in deep, and the Stars will accomplish the goal of getting the change. 3 minutes remaining in overtime. 2-2 the score. Stars in Detroit. Good game tonight for Dallas from the Joe. And we have not been able to say that all that much ever. Boy, I've been to some honeys here, boy.
Well, the game that they won in the last 11 was when Roman Kurek stood on his Czech Republic noodle and just stoned Detroit at every turn. Detroit dominated the game, but they didn't win it.
That has not been the case tonight. Belfour has been very good, so has Osgood, but I think the Stars, in many respects, have outplayed the Wings.
It's been a game. It's been a game tonight.
Now at center ice, Reed trying to push it in. Verbeek got it deep. Stars will make another change. 2:20 to play in overtime. Holmstrom from center. He had the goal that made it a 2-1 Detroit lead. And the puck played with a stick too high. That's a whistle in the Dallas zone. And a faceoff upcoming in Ed Belfour's end of the ice.
Well, what's upcoming for the Stars is a date with the Kings on New Year's Eve. And for the Red Wings, St. Louis will come in here. No Brett Hall. Boy, the people that pay for tickets around here are going to be a little disappointed, aren't they? I don't know. You wouldn't be disappointed with this game tonight, but if you're just starstruck and you like to watch the big boys around the league, there's no Modano, no Nieuwendijk, no Brett Hall. Jamie Langenbrunner just spun around at the wrong moment at the other end when he was fed a pass in front and couldn't get any stick on it. Good poke check before that by Osgood.
2:15 to play in the overtime. Face-off in the Dallas zone. Controlled by the Wings. Lidstrom at the left point. Firing it across the route. Slap shot off the traffic and up into the seats. Way up. Nearly into the second deck here at the Joe. And that one might have went off Craig Ludwig's head.
Oh, it did. It's just whether it went off of the protected part of his head or the other part of his head. Because it dropped him. And for Craig Ludwig to stay down, he has to get hit hard. And I mean hard. The shot came from the right point. Rouse brought the banners down with the big windup and the slapper. And then on the way in, It caught the upper extremities of Ludwig. Whether it was his head or not, I don't know. Ludwig in front of the net, came across, and as it came to the point, he dropped down and he looked away. Well, an intelligent play by Ludwig to get out of the way. Quick reflexes. Sometimes it's good to duck, and he took it, I think, off the bottom, the base of the bottom of the helmet, you hope, and not the base of the head. He rides those Harleys, and you know, sometimes they wear a helmet that's a lot smaller than the ones they wear on the ice. And you think that he might have got hit with a big bug every now and then. The other side of it, I guess. He seems to be okay in trying to shake it off, but that has to shake your faculties a little bit.
Dave Supernaut smiling behind him, and so you would think that Ludwig gave him one of his one-liners, and he'll be ready to come out again. Now the Stars get the puck deep into the Detroit zone. Rouse after it there, chased by Reed. He'll play it around to the far side. McCarty picking it up at center. Dallas picking it off. Carbonneau will get it in. McCarty draped all over him, and the wings clear it. Hatcher to Carbonneau in front of the Detroit bench. He'll throw it in deep again. 1:40 to play in the overtime, and what do we got? A whistle away from the play. Carbonneau and McCarty pushing in front of the Detroit bench, and I think Mark Fawcett's going to take them both.
Well, if you're Dallas, you don't like this exchange. McCarty's a good player, and it's always good to get a good player who can score off the ice, and that's what McCarty can do. But Carbonneau is the Stars' best face-off man, and now they won't have him for the final minute and 40 seconds. So if there are face-offs to be won in Dallas' zone, they won't have Guy Carbonneau to take them. So somebody else is going to have to step in and win those draws. The two of them just got locked up in front of the Detroit bench, and then after Carbonneau shoved it into the zone, they just continued on to have words and then shoved one another, and they wouldn't let go of one another. And Fawcett said, fine, both of you are going to go off.
Not unlike a playoff game tonight. You know, really, I mean, the energy level for both teams, mostly through this hockey game, Razor, the intensity, you can really feel that something is going on here tonight.
The game started slow. There were a lot of whistles early, which we felt benefited Dallas. You know, they were allowed to get their feet under them and just kind of plod along and get their game plan in place and get the line matchups they wanted. And then they took over control of the hockey game, got the first goal, and from then on, it's been a pretty even hockey game through the final, 40 minutes or so, I guess.
The Miners are posted, so we'll skate 4-on-4 for the final 1:39 of the overtime. Little open ice. Langenbrunner and Lettman up front for the Stars. Zubov and Matvichuk the point men. Langenbrunner in the circle, lost the draw to Yzerman. Murphy plays it around behind his goal. Lidstrom ahead to Larionov. Larionov and Yzerman up front. Larionov dropping a puck in the Detroit zone, and it's off a skate right to Osgood. Yzerman has to go back to pick it up again. You would think the Red Wings like the 4-on-4. Here's Larionov, stick handling into the Dallas zone. Still dipsy-doodling, but he lost it. Lettman kept his vision and focus and pushed the puck to the Detroit line. Yzerman will try it again. He's stick down, no call. Larionov bringing it to the Dallas line. Across to Lidstrom. It bounces to Murphy in the right circle. Final minute of play in the overtime. Murphy watched by Matvichuk. Lettman getting it out to Langenbrunner. And he'll push it out to center ice once more. Stars want to change here. Murphy trying to catch them in that change. Throws it deep. Zubov has it behind his goal. 40 seconds left in overtime. Here comes Sergei Zubov. Angling to his right at center. Feeding it back to his left to Matvichuk. Long shot. Osgood. Pad save to the far corner. Basson going in with two wings. Lidstrom has it behind his goal. Out to Gilchrist at the Detroit line. Reed blocked the pass intended for Maltby. It's dropped to Lidstrom at center ice. Right wing to Rouse into the Dallas zone. Slap shot. That one's blocked by Matvichuk. Now Rouse plays it deep. 10 seconds left in overtime. Gilchrist behind the goal. Centers it out in front. Reed's there ahead of Rouse. Along the far boards. Rouse trying to work it out. Hatcher will glide it out to center ice. He took a hit, but that protects the tie. And the two best teams in the NHL stay the two best teams in the NHL. They will split the points. The Stars come in here, to be sure, Razor, short-handed, but they get a huge point out of Joe Louis Arena.
Well, they did what they planned to do here tonight, and that was to be positionally sound and play a strong defensive game. And they did it from minute 1 on through minute 65, or this one. Dave Reed was in the right position at the right time at the end of the game to negate what looked like might have been a scoring chance, and then they just, you know, eat pucks out of their own zone all night long. It was like a chess game for a lot of this game tonight. A lot of the nights were good.
Detroit is now unbeaten in their last 7 games. The Stars are now unbeaten in their last 6. And a fitting conclusion, I think, to this one tonight. 2-2, overtime final. The Stars and the Wings will come back with a wrap from Joe Louis Arena on the Dallas Stars Hockey Network. Dallas Stars and the Detroit Red Wings played to a 2-2 overtime tie tonight in Detroit, Michigan. And welcome back to Dallas Stars Hockey. Along with Darrell Ray, I'm Ralph Strangis. And again, perhaps the outcome the game deserved.
I think so. Both teams played well in this one, and probably down in the Stars locker room right now. The other night, they didn't like the tie. They were up 3-0 and settled for a tie with Vancouver. This one probably feels a little bit more like a win tonight than anything. They played gritty, they played hard, they played intelligent all night long, in a hard-earned 1 point here in Detroit.
Well, it looked as if the game might be in jeopardy. Holmstrom scored for the Wings with about 6 minutes left in the game to make it a 2-1 Detroit lead. And then Sergei Zubov worked his magic, Razor.
He was great all night long at both ends of the ice, but the game breaker came at the right end of the ice for the Stars. A clearing attempt in front of the net that people were knocked down on, and then Zubov just came down to the right wing corner. Fawcett, the referee, got out of the way, and then he just flung one. A hopeful shot towards Chris Osgood, and Osgood for some reason pulled himself away from the post and didn't make the save, and it dribbled in. That tied the hockey game.
And that is the Dodge game breaker, the play most directly affecting the outcome of this evening's contest. Standing by downstairs, the guy who scored the first goal of the game, and Bob Airey, the former Detroit Red Wing. First of all, good effort tonight by your club. I imagine you guys executed almost to perfection the plan for tonight.
Yeah, certainly we did. We wanted to be patient, not over pursue, and let them come to us and turn the puck over at our blue line and take advantage. And we pretty much did what we wanted to in the first and hit a goal post, and that would have been nice to get up 2-zip.
You were feisty again tonight and plenty of hits and good forechecking, but you're going to be remembered for your goal against your old club. Talk us through what happened on that shift.
Well, I got out with not my normal line mates there, and Beaker had the puck behind the net, and I found the soft spot. And, it seemed to be open there right before that. Herc missed me on a play, but there it is there, and, I just one-timed it, and, my old buddy Ozzy there, I told him to let me get one by him, so I guess he listened to me.
Well, it is the holiday season after all, and
yeah,
perhaps
very nice.
Yeah, very nice of him. Let's talk about the last couple of weeks for the Stars. You've been without Modano, without Neuendijk, without Hogue, without Adams. Do we make too much about that, or how has the team responded? Obviously, tremendously under these circumstances.
Yeah, certainly we have, and you guys would have made a lot out of it if we had gone through a losing streak. So we made certain that didn't happen, and we certainly welcome those guys back. They're going to be a great boost to the lineup, and but we've battled, and the guys that have done what they've had to do out there, and that's why we're a hockey team. That's why we're the Dallas Stars, and that's we've been winning consistently, and it's going to pay dividends come the playoff time. When the going gets tough, you're going to be able to count on the guys to jump in there.
A game like tonight where you guys pull a point out of Detroit, a tough building for this franchise for a long, long time. I know it's only the end of the year and we're turning into 1998, but is it big to pull a point out of here and play like this here tonight?
Well, it certainly is, because this is the last time we're here this year, and we're going to have them 3 times back in Dallas now. We didn't want to come out of here with no points. It's a pretty good chance, hopefully, that we meet them in the final there in our conference. So we needed a point. That was a big goal by Zub, and you never know what happens when you get the puck on the net. And we're just happy to get out of here with a point tonight. We did play strong, and I guess that's something to build on.
Congratulations. The club is now unbeaten in their last 6 games. We'll see you on the airplane.
Okay, boys.
That's Bob Airey of the Dallas Stars, and the final numbers, Razor, tonight.
He epitomizes this team, doesn't he? He did tonight anyway. Boy, gritty effort by him. Stars outshot the Red Wings 31-22 on the night. A lot of those shots coming in the first period, half of them exactly, in fact, and a lot of scoring chances, more than I think both coaches would like. 20-14 in favor of the Stars in that category. The penalty killers and the goaltending were a lot better than the 2 power plays in this game. Both teams went 0 for 4 with the extra man.
And the 3 Stars selected by Detroit media. Could you tell? Darian Hatcher, the number 3 star of the game, 5 hits, 2 blocks, and he just was big Hatch all over again tonight.
Well, that's the 3rd game in a row now that he's been one of the 3 stars. He was the 1st star in both games against the Canucks, and now the 3rd star here tonight.
Thomas Holmstrom had a goal in the game. He was the game's number 2 star. It was an important goal, to be sure.
It was a big goal, but that was about the only time I noticed Thomas Holmstrom. I'm sure he had a great game, though.
And Chris Osgood, did have a very good game in this one tonight. He made 29 saves. He kept the Wings in there early. He was the game's #1 star. And I would, of course, think maybe even thrown Eddie Belfour's name into the hat. He came up large when he had to keep this thing close.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he's done that the last little while. He came up large in that game against Vancouver when they tied it 3-3. We talked a lot about Urbe, but Belfour was good as well. I'll never argue with a goaltender being the first star in any hockey game, and especially a young guy from Western Canada.
Well,
so
see,
a good choice there.
Yeah, here we go. Well, the Stars will get back on the airplane tonight, and they will return home and take on the Los Angeles Kings, Razor, on New Year's Eve. What to look for?
Well, a lot of bow ties, I guess, since it's New Year's Eve. We won't have them on, but people probably will in the stands. Tucks and pucks should be a good one, and I hope it's full back in Dallas. Rob Blake is playing tremendous on the blue line for the LA Kings. They've gotten a lot healthier. They got Ray Ferraro back the other day, although he was a healthy scratch. Big club, good games they've had already this year. Should be a good one on New Year's Eve.
And so the Stars will head home with a good point tonight from Joe Louis Arena. The Dallas Stars and the Detroit Red Wings played to a 2-2 overtime tie. For my partner Darrell Ray, Buck Spivey, and Frito downstairs, and the whole crew from Motown, I'm Ralph Strangis. Good night.
Dallas Stars Hockey has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. By Coors Light, naturally brewed. Reach for the silver bullet, the pure taste of the Rockies. And by the Dr. Pepper Bottling Company of Texas. Diet Dr. Pepper, the official soft drink of the Dallas Stars. By Gatorade's Thirst Quencher. You don't have to live thirsty. Life is a sport. Drink it up. By Discover Card. It pays to discover, the card that pays you back. By Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse. When it comes to home improvement, Lowe's knows. And by Budget Rent-A-Car. The executive producer of Dallas Stars Hockey is Bill Strong. This game has been produced and directed by Kevin Spivey. Associate producer, Robert Fiorito. Broadcast manager, Hillary Roberts.